Hello and welcome to another episode of the Knob Mouse Show. I'm Kirk-Robinson, and this week we're taking a look at the most scandalous thing to hit YouTube in a long time. Yes, it's the CSGO Lotto scandal, and since we're getting all legal this week, I'd best get prepared. Law powers, activate! Right, that's better. Let's get this underway. Now, before we begin, I have to remind you, as always, that this video should not be construed as legal advice. I'm not your lawyer, and everything I say is based on the limited information available, so any conclusions I draw will change depending on any other information that comes to light. So take this as it is for educational purposes only, don't rely on a court of law, and don't eat yellow snow. In fact, don't eat any snow. I mean, what are you doing? What are you eating snow for anyway? Don't eat anything that comes out of the sky. That's how you get alien brain parasites. What do you mean, stick to the point? What script? What? We have a script? When did this show become professional? What? Oh, you're still here. Sorry. Okay, well, since you're here, let's get on with it. Now, our scandal begins with two guys called Trevor Martin, who posts on YouTube as T Martin, and Tom Castle, who posts as Pro Syndicate. Now, these two idiots created a website called CSGO Lotto, where players of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO for short, can gamble the skins that they earn while playing the game. Now, when I talk about skins, I don't mean human skins. I'm talking about colours and patterns that can be overlaid onto weapons in the game to make your instruments of murder a bit more pretty. So don't worry, it's all above board and quite nice. The basic idea is that the gamblers all put skins into a pot, and the dollar value of each skin is tallied. The more value you put into the pot, the greater your chance of winning the entire thing. It's a pretty simple way of gambling, and it requires absolutely no skill whatsoever in order to gamble this way. So keep that in mind, because that's going to be important later. So how do the players gain these skins to gamble with? Well, while you're playing Counter-Strike Go, you gain chests. From what I've learned, because I don't actually play Counter-Strike, any kind of Counter-Strike in fact, these chests contain a random selection of things, some of which are skins. Now, the skins that you get are generated through a weighted random number generator, with some skins being really common and thus worth pennies, and others really rare and thus worth thousands of dollars. Why are they worth so much? Surely you could just play until you had a mountain of crates and then open them all one after the other and edge the random number generator in your favour to get the really rare skins? Well, perhaps you can, but that's not quite how it works. Because, yeah, you can hoard these crates, but to open them, you need a key. And to get a key, you have to buy it with real money. Alternatively, of course, you can visit the Steam Marketplace and just buy the skins themselves from someone who already has them. But either way, you have to put financial value into it, therefore the skins themselves gain financial value, because they literally cannot be earned without a financial outlay by someone. In other words, no money, no skins. No skins, no gambling. So where does the illegal part of all this come in? Well, here's the thing. The CSGO Lotto website is owned by a company that it claims on its website is operating from Florida. And moreover, the website actually states that if you are located outside the United States and you access the website, you consent to having your personal data transferred to and processed in the United States. Oh dearie indeed. Gambling on the internet is illegal in the United States. Now, there's a legal loophole around games of skill such as poker, where the random chance of whatever hand you're dealt doesn't actually equate to whether you're going to win or lose. But for a straightforward toss money into a pot and the winner gets the pot situation like we have here, the games of skill loophole doesn't apply. In other words, this is a gambling website, and it's operating in a country where gambling on websites is illegal. Now, there are some who will argue that it's not gambling per se because there's no money involved, but that's simply not true. These skins have a monetary value. You can buy and sell them on Valve's marketplace, and some will go for quite a considerable amount of cash. So anyone arguing that these skins don't have a value is not understanding how casinos work. When you rock up at Honest Joe's gambling pit and sit down to play a game, you don't put your hard-earned cash straight on the table. Well, not unless you're in Honest Joe's backroom card game the movie or something like that. Instead, you first go to a counter and turn your cash into chips. You put those chips on the table and gamble with them. Those casino chips have a monetary value. Under Florida's gambling laws, because like we said, the website is in Florida, they can be regarded as other negotiable currency, i.e. not cash, but still items of value. Now, since the skins being tossed into the pot in CSGO Lotto have values attributed to them, values that the website decides, by the way, and it even has a little ticker, like a stock market, that tracks values up and down, then they are akin to casino chips. They are other negotiable currency that you can cash in and out on Valve's marketplace. Might not be on the original website, but it's still other negotiable currency via Valve. The Unlawful Internet Enforcement Act of 2006, which is a piece of legislation that has a weird title, by the way, has this to say about online gambling. The Act prohibits gambling businesses from knowingly accepting payments in connection with the participation of another person in a bet or wager that involves the use of the internet, and that's unlawful under any federal or state law. Oh dear. The CSGO Lotto website takes a cut of every pot that people gamble in. It does this by taking skins from the pot, which we've already determined have a financial value akin to a casino chip. It is therefore accepting payments in connection with bets or wagers, in both the sense that the website itself is taking all those skins into escrow to hold for people while they gamble, and also in the sense that it is literally taking payment in the form of skins out of that pot as payment for you gambling on their website. So yeah, it's being paid for every pot it hosts. And that means it's looking pretty illegal. Is that the limit of the wrongdoing that's going on here? Sadly not. So tune in to the next episode to see the rest of the wrongdoing that's been going on. Okay, this has been the first in a two-parter. I've split this down the middle because the issues that have come up in all this come in two separate chunks. The first is the online gambling, which we've covered here, and the second are the violations of the FTC Act, which we'll cover in the next episode. So if you want to see that straight away when it goes online, be sure to subscribe, and also be sure to click that like button, because it helps me out a lot, and it keeps me motivated to make more videos. But anyway, until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching The Knob Mouse Show, and I'll see you later. Yeah, look at that. You know it's getting serious when I make the effort to look nice.